Okay, so first we have to see how to start the presentation software. So you either go to the OpenOffice Impress or you go to the LibreOffice Impress. Here we have the LibreOffice Impress. So as soon as you start the software, I hope everyone can see how you select a template, which is the design template, which changes the appearance of your presentation as per your liking, and these are limited options which are available inside the software, so you have to choose only one of these, or it's not just the design, the colors, and the background that we're talking about here. The design template also changes the placement of different types of text inside your presentation. So sometimes there are even some templates which place the main or the slide title headings at the bottom of the slide. So there are such templates out there as well. So you will have to do this, and right now you can see that this template has given us the title slide design template and then the content slide template. So in the title slide you can see in the which gives which lets you write in the presentation title what your presentation is all about. And I'm going to comment a little on every aspect of making a presentation, how a good presentation, what a good presentation should look like, you know and stuff like that. So let's आपको इसमें जो क्वेश्चन मिलेगा it will be something like this, that create a presentation, right? Presentation on the topic. You will be given a topic to create a presentation. For example, the topic is uh, world after COVID, right? So uh, this is the title of the presentation. Then you will be asked to add a number of slides. So you will be asked to add, let's say, 7 slides to your presentation. Okay, so let's start making the okay. So I'm going to, how do we add slides to our presentation? We simply look at this white area on the left hand side. We right click this area and we use new slide, or we could use the shortcut written over here, control M. Control M will add new slide. So I'm going to use control M, and I have added. So I now, how many content slides do I have? 2 content slides. So I need to have 5 content slides in my presentation. So now you can see over here that I have 5 content slides and I have 1 title slide. All the content slides look exactly the same, and the title slide looks slightly different. And another thing I'd like to tell you at this point is that the the format in which these things are, you can the format in this, the where the title is on the top and there is one, you know uh, place to add some kind of graphics like a table or a chart or a audio, video, or image. This is called layout. So you can change the layout of the slide by going to this right hand side and simply, clicking anywhere on, let's zoom out a bit, and clicking anywhere on the gray area on the right or top or left of the slide. This lets you unselect anything that may have been selected before. So if I had selected this thing, you can see that the properties for this text box have appeared on the right hand side. But if I click on the gray area anywhere outside this slide, the properties or the layout for the slide are now shown on the right hand side, right? I hope you are paying attention, because this is something that can confuse you at times. So if I, for example, select this text box, so the properties of this text box can be seen over here. If I click anywhere in the gray area, now I can see the properties of the whole slide. And the main property that I'm interested in changing is the layout right now. and I'm going to leave everything just as it is. So I'm going to select this fourth layout. As soon as I do that, you can see that the text box that was over here has now changed or split into two text boxes, and I can either type text in either of the boxes, or I could, select this button, and this button would take me to the dialog box that lets me add certain graphics into this slide. So we're going to do everything, and let's start first by changing that the instructions said that slides 2 to 5 all have the layout something that looks something like this, and the last slide has a layout which should have two boxes for graphics. So I'm selecting this layout in which we have two boxes for graphics and one box is for typing in the points, right? So now we have changed the layout for every slide. Now I'm going to type the content. So I'm going to give it the title World After COVID, and I'm going to write my the as author. The author of this presentation is, let's suppose I type in my name. Now go to the second slide and type in the title for the second slide, and that was uh, the impact on our daily lives, right? So impact, we can say, of COVID on our daily lives. Okay. So I'm going to add some points like the this pandemic has changed our routines, and so now we can see that this particular graphics template doesn't have bullet points automatically placed with the with the text. So I'm going to change the template by again going to the gray area over here, and I will search for the so I'm going to go to the master slides, and I'm going to change the template because I think there should be bullets with the points that I've written. So in this you can see it has placed the bullets, but okay. So I will select this one. I'm really, inclined towards having a standard look of, that looks something like this, with bullet points automatically inserted and everything in its place. So what they've done is they have introduced new templates which really, change the layout in a strange way. They change the box size and its placement, which should be really over here. So anyways, so I am selecting this one, and okay, so I'm going to go to the next point, and I'm going to just type 2 points. Because so one thing I wanted to tell you about the mistake that we normally do in presentations, and which I've already made over here, is that you don't write complete sentences in bullet points. This is a bad practice. So we need to somehow come up with smaller expression for the same sentence. So then we can write down that so some points like these, and then we are going to okay. So this slide doesn't need to have any graphics added to it. So I'm going to go back to the layout thing, and I'm going to change the layout back to where there is only one title and some bullet points after that title, right? So now I am finally able to apply this. Okay. So now the important thing that we must do when we're doing this is to save our work. So let's save our document somewhere like on the desktop. The default extension for this is ODP, Open Document Presentation. So you can actually change the styling of this uh, text box manually as well. We should be able to change the vertical alignment. So here we have the buttons to align the text on the top and on the left. So this is how we normally like to look at presentations. They don't really need to look like the way it was looking before. So I'm just changing I'm also changing the line spacing to 1.5. So now it looks a bit more standard as you know a normal presentation should look like. So then on the third slide it says that you add the uh, comment on financial impact of, so I'm going to write over here financial impact of COVID, and I'm going to go to Google, and I'm going to try to find uh, so I'm just going to insert this image. So my objective is to just show you that how we insert images. So I'm going to save it in my downloads folder, and then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to this second text box on the right hand side, and I'm going to click insert image. I'm going to click this tiny button over here, and it will show me a dialog box from which I can go to my downloads folder, and I can select this image that I downloaded, and then I insert it, click open button, it inserted the uh, this image. So I'm going to write in some comments like the financial saw some random and unpredictable, actually, and similarly I'm going to type again something like some types of businesses are improved while mostly okay. So all right, so this is the second slide. Let's go to the third slide, and we can give it a title of like impact on environment, and you don't need to repeat the word COVID over and over again. And here we are going to write down the pollution in most in big cities around the world reduced by a large amount. Okay, so the instructions say that we add a picture of Lahore, that compares the previous and new image, and I'm going to insert it in my presentation. Okay, so similarly, the second last slide should have uh, a graph, or actually, let's insert a table instead of a graph. We can make a graph based on that, also called a chart. So actually, let's insert the chart as I said earlier. So I'm going to try to edit this chart and see if I can, you know, look at the data that we, so there is something called a data table related to this chart. So I have used the button that says over here, uh, insert chart, right? So as soon as I click that, it takes me, it inserts a random chart in my slide. I right click this and I go to data table. The data table lets me change the values in different columns. It even lets me delete a certain series. For example, if I was okay, there's no undo button for that, right? So if I'm in the I have selected this column 3 text box and I press this delete series button, it simply deletes it. So I'm going to go to I'm going to leave only one column here, and I'm going to change it deaths, and I'm going to change the you know the categories to, let's suppose, May, and then June, and then July, August, and then I'll have to add another row. So there's a button for that, insert row, and I'm going to type here September. And I'm going to right now, because of lack of time, I'm not going to go to the internet. I'm just going to put in some numbers, like for example it was in May, for example, it was 40,000, or I don't know, I don't remember much, about 20,000, and then it grew to like 25,000, let's suppose, and then it grew more to like 30,000, and then it grew more to like 38,000, and then in September maybe it came down to like 31,000. So these are just some random numbers that I have placed in, and it will create on the x-axis here you can see that it is showing the names of the months, and here it is showing the all the every bar is representing the random number that I wrote there, and here in the legend it shows the name of the red bars, which are the deaths. And here I'm just going to add some random points like the deaths deaths due to COVID in societies, or a society in general, and then maybe that became active to deal with anxiety, right? So then in the last slide, I'm going to add comment on the remaining, always remaining positive. So look at the bright side. So no matter how bad things get, they can always give positive resolutions, right? So just some random things I've written over here, and then I'm going to add from the gallery. I'm going to try to insert a graphics. So I'm going to go to the gallery using this button, insert image, insert media from gallery. In the insert menu I have media and then gallery. Yeah, let's look at the instructions, and the instructions say that you have to insert something related to a sunny day and then children. So in the first I'm going to try to find image of something sunny, and so I'm just going to insert this image of a sun into this part, and I'm going to resize it and try to place it over this. Although there should have been the option of inserting it inside this text box, which is apparently it is not possible. And if I click the insert image thing, it takes me to the open file dialog box, which is not convenient at all. So I'm just going to get rid of this small text box. I can just select it using the border, and I can press the delete key and it can be deleted. I'm going to now find the picture of some kids or children, and I'm going to insert those images in the second part. So probably these are some kids, and we want to, you know, look forward to raising kids in the planet with a positive future. So this was the presentation. Coming to the actual difficult parts, and we have so adding your roll number and name to the master slide so that it appears on all the slides without us having to add it individually in each slide. How can we do that? We can go to the view menu and we can go to the master slide. In the view menu, we can go to the master slide, and this master slide can be slightly difficult to handle. So I would ask you to simply don't touch any option over here and just go to insert text box, right? After going into the view menu and to the master slide, go to this text insert text box and simply insert this text box or draw this text box at the bottom of this master slide, and type in your roll number first, and then type in actually let's create two text boxes. On the left hand I would drag this text box towards the left side so that the roll number is on the bottom left of my slide, and I'm going to use another I'm going to draw another text box on the right side, and I'm going to write my name in the on the right hand side text box, so that my name appears on the right bottom of every slide that I have inserted in this document. So I won't need to do that again. So again, as I said, it may be slightly buggy. There could be bugs in the software, so you don't need change or click anywhere inside this master slide view. And once you have inserted these text boxes, simply go to the view menu and go to normal option, and it will, now you can see that no matter which slide I go on, I can see the um, roll number, my roll number on the left hand side, and my name on the right hand side bottom of every slide. I don't need to do that over and over again. So this was the use of master slides, and I'm going to show you two other things. Add slide transitions to each slide, and the second thing I'm going to show you, add um, uh, text animations in content slides, right? So first I'm going to save this slide, and if I press F5, F5 is the shortcut for what? Slideshow. So now I am in the slideshow mode. If I press the arrow keys, the slideshow goes on and it shows next to next slide. I can press the up arrow key and it can take me back into the slides. And if I go to the last slide and I press the bottom arrow key, the uh, presentation finishes, it ends. So my objective is that when I press the arrow key, every new slide should start with some kind of animation inside the slide. So I'm going to go to the option which is called slide transitions, and without selecting anything, any object inside, even though if they're selected, it doesn't really matter much, but I'm going to select some, animations randomly from here. So I'm going to select, for example, if there is a random thing option, there is not. So I'm going to select the, let's suppose, uh, fade. Let's see what fade looks like, right? Or let's say comb. Yeah, comb is good. So I'm going to use this button, apply transition to all slides. It will apply the comb transition effect on all the slides. I could also go to the next slide and I could change the style of this transition, the animation, to some other style. For example, I'm using this on this, and I'm using some other randomly on the next one, and then some randomly on the next one, and some randomly on the next one. I can use all of these different effects. And now if I press F5 and the presentation begins, it begins, every slide comes in after the previous one with some kind of animation. um, I hope you can see the transitions happening inside each slide. So this was the second difficult part, you can say. The first one was master slide, the second one was slide transition, and the last one is adding some okay. So if I see the slideshow for this slide, all of the slide appears at once. I would like to give this presentation in such a way that when I start giving the presentation, only the title appears, and when I click the mouse key, the first line appears and the rest of the two lines don't appear. And then I would like to click the mouse key and the second line should appear, and then I would like to press another mouse click and the next one should appear, so that everything appears on my command. But I would like those lines to appear with some kind of animation. So let's try to do that. I'm going to select this first line and I'm going to go to this animations option, um, and I'm going to, okay, I'm going to select So we select this first line, and there is this tiny plus sign, plus button. So okay, so you select this text and you go to this plus sign and you add the animation. And by the way, I've added it 2 times, so I have to get rid of this thing. Okay, no, I can delete it, remove it from here. So again, I'm going to select this line. I'm going to use this plus button. It immediately adds this, and look at this option, start on click. So it means that it is not going to appear unless I click on my presentation. This is the default option. Although you could change it to some other option, like it should appear with the previous thing, whichever appeared previously than this. For example, the title appeared before this, then if you have selected the with previous thing, it would automatically start right after, actually with the title. And if you selected after previous, then it would wait for title to appear and then it would start appearing. So I'm using the on click option, and I'm going to try different animation styles. So I'm going to use fly in for this, and I'm going to select the second line, and I'm going to add again using the plus sign. I am going to add another, and I'm going to use the checkerboard animation for this. And then I'm going to select the third line, and I'm going to go to the add button again, and I'm going to select, for example, the peak in animation. So this is peak in animation. So now let's look at the presentation in slideshow mode. I'm going to I pressed F5, and now I'm in the um, presentation view. So when I click the mouse, the next slide appears without any content on it. And as soon as I click on the slide, the first line appears. So it would allow me to do what? I could, when I'm giving or I'm delivering the presentation, I could be in this view, and I could just, talk about, okay, I could just talk about the title for a while, for a minute or two. I could talk about this title in my own words, and then I would press the mouse key, and then first point would appear, and then I would have time to talk about this, and without having the readers or the audience to look at the other points and confusing them with more content. I could just discuss this one, and then you click the mouse again and the second line appears, and then you click the mouse key and the third line appears.